Oop. Hello, and welcome to MOATAIF. My name is Artie. Welcome to the show here on AustinZach00. Your podcast master is RJ Quillen and Zach Roberts. They are in the chair. They are ready to talk. They are sitting. They are ready to go. Fire away, boys.
Thank you, Artie.
He's in a great mood tonight. This is he's in a great mood. I am turning 20 in, let's see, 2 hours and 2 minutes.
Yeah, math.
And I'm gonna go through a midlife crisis. I kind of already did while I was driving today because I've been alive for 2 decades, and the last like few hours of that, while I was like 19 and a reckless spirit, bro, like a teenager, I, was delivering pizzas. And the other weird thing...
For Pizza Hut.
Yeah. And the other weird thing is that I'm going to now have a 2 in front of my age. I just thought of this.
I didn't even think about that. That's weird.
Just thought of this. Like, think about it.
We're 20-somethings.
Yeah, like, we're 20-year-olds. And what have we done with our lives?
Nothing.
Well, at least you're, like, college educated.
Not really. Well, not yet.
But you are. You have 3 years of college under your belt. 4, technically, because you're graduating this year.
Yeah.
Well, next year. Right?
2016,
yeah,
spring.
But still this school year. Whereas I fucking dropped out of college. So as of right now, my highest education is a high school fucking diploma. And like, or on like some applications it'll be like some college. Now, yes, I am going back to school in like 5 weeks, but still, it's kind of, I even said when I turned 19, I was like, yeah, I might be spending my 19th birthday in Springfield, but I'll be spending my 20th in New York. I'm not.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, I know. Because I thought I would be living in New York by then. But I will be like 5 weeks after my birthday. Yeah. But it's sad to me that the only birthday that I've had, like, I have had every single birthday in Springfield, Ohio, except for my 18th birthday. And that was in Chicago.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You were in Chicago for your 18th birthday?
Yeah. And I spent it with horrible friends. Of course, I thought they were good friends at the time. They made me a birthday dinner, and...
It was like macaroni?
No, it was like actually like chicken and pasta like mixed together. I don't know what it was, but it was fucking delicious. And
Are you just saying that because like you're trying to be nice?
No, it was really good. Like, it was genuinely really good. I have nothing to be nice to these people for.
Oh, you're right.
About
yeah,
like, so no, I'm not doing it for like pleasantries.
They might have been listening. Like, it was really good, Mark.
No, I hope they are. Zach Felcher, if you're listening, text me right now and say, I'm sorry, I was a piece of fucking shit and led you on, and then broke your heart and made you drop out of college and move back to Springfield and then write a musical about it, and then be severely depressed for over a year and then move to New York. Did you get all that? Because I can go back and fucking say it again, you fucking ugly, big-eared, probably tiny penis, giant forehead, ugly fucking nose ring boy. I fucking hate you. I hope you die in a fiery car accident. And I genuinely do. I want him dead. Yeah, I want him dead. I've gotten over it. You wouldn't tell, but no, like I've gotten over it, but like I still think he was like a horrible, horrible person. But anyway, I spent my birthday with them. They made dinner for me. We went to the Bean. From the first time.
That's a bean.
Yeah, well, it's like the mirror. You know what I'm talking
that's
about.
A thing.
Yeah, it's
Chicago.
like it's like the mirrored bean. It's just a fucking bean. But it was cool. We had a good time. Like, I was having a good time. Like, it was a good day. Little did I know that like 2 months later they would break my heart and be horrible people. But so I'm spending my birthday this year with people who might turn out to be horrible people. Who knows?
Okay.
I'm just kidding. We, tomorrow, for my birthday, are going to the record store because we're horny for vinyls. And we're going to go to the record store. My grandma made dinner for me. And then we're all hanging out. Nicholas, Brianna, Nicole, Reagan, RG, and I are all hanging out. and we're going to have a good time, I think. And so maybe I'm not spending my 20th birthday in New York City where I want to live for the rest of my life. And maybe I've been alive for 2 decades, and maybe I have a 2 in front of my name now, and maybe I spent the last the last hours of my teenage years delivering pizza and then recording a podcast, but
that no one will listen to.
Right. Man. Nicholas, if you're listening now, so I'm just kidding.
Text Ninja Turtles to 90210.
Yes. And so maybe all that's not happening, but tomorrow we're going to have a good day. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a good day cuz I'm calling off of work. You heard it here first, folks.
I was going to go like, Matt, and then I didn't know his last name. If you're
Matt
listening,
Kelly, if you're listening,
Matt Kelly, if you're listening, we're calling off tomorrow.
and then we do Nux, like, so, yes, I think I'll technically be a 20-something now, like, but I'm looking forward to it. Like, I think the next,
10 years.
The next 10 years, I think, are going to be very exciting for us. Don't say that to me, because I'll kill myself right now.
That's weird. 10 years will be 30 years old.
20 years really will be 40. And the amount of time that we've been alive now, we will be 40.
We'll be like, I just imagine every 40-year-old man is a fat, bald man.
I think for sure, by the time I'm 40, I'll have gone through a midlife crisis. Probably when I'm 25, because I expect to die by 50. I don't expect to die by 50.
That's the AIDS talking.
I feel like... it's weird to think of this right now. The average life expectancy is what, 75 to 78? We're gonna die in 50 years.
Statistically.
Yeah, statistically we will be dead in about 50 years. That's terrifying to me. I know it's 50 years, but I want to be immortal. Who doesn't though?
Yeah, I'd love to be immortal.
I would love to be immortal, even if it means downloading my brain on a chip. We've talked about this before. You download your brain on a chip and then they put it in a robot.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Happened in Chappie.
Really?
Yeah. That's what it is about.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Kind of.
I've always thought about cryogenic freezing, but then that's assuming that in the future the science will be good enough to revive me.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I think it would happen.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, actually, probably not, because then, you know what I mean? Like, you die and you're cryogenically frozen, and your soul goes to heaven, and then what? Your body's
how do you explain that?
Your body's just gonna be reanimated, and your soul's gonna get ripped out of heaven.
Yanked?
That's so stupid.
It doesn't even make sense.
That's like atheist talk. Nux.
What's an atheist?
Nux. Nux.
We'll just nux so hard.
Second segment. RJ has a dream he wants to share.
I don't know if I want to share it.
You want to share it.
Again.
You're sharing it. This is the first time any of us are hearing it. So share the fucking dream.
It's actually not.
Share the dream!
I can't. I'm bad. Can you tell the story for me?
No.
I can't tell stories.
Yes, you can. You have.
I don't want to tell the story again.
I've never heard it, so I don't know why you keep saying again. Oh!
Okay, so I'm at my house.
In the dream.
In the dream, I'm at my daddy's house. And my mom's there. She doesn't live with me because my parents are getting divorced.
And how does that make you feel?
I don't feel. It's like, okay. Anyway, and so, I guess the dream was haunted. And in the dream, I can elaborate this time.
Yeah.
In the dream,
for the first time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, for the first time, I'm just gonna really elaborate. It was like a haunted dream. Like my mom's like, RJ, I'm feeling things in this house.
Didn't your mom think she was psychic? Isn't that part of her?
She does. She thinks she's psychic. Yeah. And she's like, I'm feeling things in this house. I was like, there's actually ghosts in this. It was like Scooby-Doo ghosts.
I feel like your house is a little... I don't believe in ghosts, obviously, because atheism. But I feel like if there were ever a house that were haunted, it's yours.
Not really. It's not even...
I'm a scaredy house, and I think that's the ghosts making the energy, making me feel scared.
Well, maybe.
Ghost hunters.
EVP!
Exactly.
Anyway... Yeah, so it was haunted, but I was really excited because I was like, this is fucking awesome. This is gonna be amazing. And then I was like, but I got you a birthday present. And so there's a fucking poltergeist in the house, going crazy. There's it feels like there's a tornado and there's wind going through the house. So my mom kicks me down the stairs.
Jesus.
And I'm just I land in a litter box that has a clear jelly dildo. Ribbed. It was ribbed.
Okay.
for his or her pleasure.
And it had litter on it.
Yeah,
I
it was
assume because it's like
covered in litter.
Like covered in litter,
Yeah.
or just like had glitter on it.
Litter.
That's what I mean. It had like
there was like litter on it, like it was like stuck
yeah.
to it.
Ew.
And so like me seeing this dildo just really turned me on for some reason.
Yeah.
And I just shoved it straight into my mouth. And I deep throated it, and I was really turned on. And at that point, I realized I was in a dream, but I kept going.
But I don't. For what purpose? I don't understand. Like, I genuinely do not understand like why you would suck off a dildo.
I don't know. I was just really turned on in my dream. And I was like, this is nice. Like, this is where I want to be in my life.
In a litter box sucking a dildo.
I was like in the basement, and it was like safe in the basement. Because like upstairs, there was like, ooh, like Scooby-Doo projector ghost upstairs. Like, my mom's like dying. That made it seem like I wanted my mom to be dying. But like, she's like fighting the ghost with like a lightsaber. I don't know what she's doing. But that's just where I wanted to be.
That's kind of where everybody wants to be, you know?
Yeah, just in a litter box.
In a litter box, sucking a dildo.
It was a big litter box.
Well, if you're... Yeah, like, for a human to get in, yeah. It would have to be a big litter box.
There's just a dildo sticking out. It was pretty gay.
That's like the definition of homosexuality.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good dream. I don't remember any of my dreams. I mean, I do remember them, but I don't... like last night. I mean, I don't have any dreams that I can recollect upon.
I started taking medication that makes you have weird dreams.
Ah.
Apparently. Abnormal dreams is a side effect.
Well,
I've been sucking off dildos in my dreams and loving it. I loved it.
Well, I actually... Okay, here's an interesting thing. It's not a dream that I've had recently, but sometimes I have such vivid, like, horny sex dreams that, like, when I'm sucking someone off, I feel their penis in my mouth. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I can feel it in my mouth to the point where I think I'm being raped when I sleep. Because, like, that's how much it feels like.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it feels like there is a penis in my mouth. Like, I can feel the head, like, on the ridges of my, like, roof of my mouth. Like, I feel like there are sometimes, not often, but sometimes I have such a vivid sex dream that I feel like it actually has happened to me while I was asleep. That, like, someone just came in and started, like, mouth fucking me.
Would you like that?
No. If it was someone that I liked, yes. But I'm thinking of the people that live in this house, no.
Ew.
And that would be... I would bite it if that happened.
Of course you would.
Yeah, for sure. I'd just be like... And then just bite it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Gross.
Anyway, so...
Gross, bro.
Next segment. This is the main thing that we wanted to talk about, and we're probably going to go into a long tangent on this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a really long video. Podcast, I mean.
We recently made a new video called Alimony Sanchez. And so
it's
now...
It's a very cryptic video.
Yeah. Now we've created this character, and, well, let's start with... The character was created one day when RJ and I were hanging out.
Yeah, the origins of Alimony Sanchez.
Yeah, we were hanging out, and we wanted... Well, I specifically wanted a pizza from Pizza Hut, and RJ had just gotten off of work from Pizza Hut.
Yeah, and I hated Pizza Hut.
And he's, like, a manager, so he and I had called off that day, so... Because I just gotten back from vacation.
Yeah,
we were secretly hanging out and secretly ordering a pizza. But we didn't want them to know that it was us, even though it was a different Pizza Hut.
Yeah, it was a different Pizza Hut, but, like, they might have, like...
They might have been able to see it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, we were getting ready to create a new name, and I was, it was just the first thing that came to our minds. Alimony was the first name, and then it was just Sanchez.
Yeah, I think I might have put just Sanchez.
Yeah. I think it was Alimony, me, Sanchez, you, because I think you wanted to do like Jorge or something like that.
I don't
remember, but needless to say, Alimony Sanchez was born that day, and we had 2 delicious pizzas because of it, and breadsticks.
Yeah, and like when we were doing that, like the whole time we're just like, Alimony, your pizza at the door.
Yeah,
like, we were like yelling. Like,
yeah, we were creating.
And then when the guy was at the door, you like hid because you were like nervous about like. You were scared of him. I was like, here you go, Alimony, and like I handed it off to you, and you're like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, I was like, thank you, sir. Like,
thank you, sir.
Signed it, gave it back, ate the pizza. So we thought, I don't know why, but the last time we were hanging out, we decided that I knew I wanted to film a video because we hadn't really posted anything. We've been working on so many projects, but we haven't like really posted anything on the channel.
Yeah.
So I wanted to record and actually post a good, interesting, like stupid video. And I think we did that with Alimony Sanchez.
Great video.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite videos of probably the last year that we've posted.
Yeah.
And it's actually, I didn't think about this, because remember, we were going to do Where Are They Now? We still are in the process of working on Where Are They Now. I think we're pretty close to being done, because we've reworked it. So I think, if you think about the way that we reworked it, instead of being one 30-minute video, it's going to be like 4 15-minute videos.
Yeah.
So we reworked it, because of casting issues and friendship issues that have ended and stuff like that, so it was just easier for us to rework it. But anyway, because we've been working on so many things, that was originally going to be you and I, the first thing that we posted on the channel since we started being friends again.
Oh,
but now it's Alimony Sanchez.
Yeah, now it's Alimony.
Because MOATAIF, it doesn't count, because it's literally we sit and record it and post it. With Alimony, we actually put a lot of thought into it, edited, had a horrible time rendering and uploading it.
Oh yeah, it was awful. It took 2 days.
Yeah, but now it's up, and I think instead of just going straight into like what the video is about, I feel like we should give all the background information that we've kind of worked up.
Yeah, that's a good
and
idea.
then describe like how that fits into the video.
We should say Alimony Sanchez is like his character is being worked.
Yeah,
it isn't like final right now. Like, so we're just kind of deciding.
This is more of our brainstorming session of what Alimony Sanchez, who he is, what got him to where the video is, and why. Yeah, why he did what he did in the video. So if you haven't watched Alimony Sanchez, you should probably do that now. And it's only like 3 minutes, so
is it really
pause
that short?
it's only 3.5 minutes. So pause this, go watch that, and then come back before you listen to this podcast, Nicholas. I know you've already seen it, but just so...
Yeah, just watch it again.
Yeah, just watch it again real quick to refresh your memory. We'll wait.
I'm not waiting.
I know, that would be so stupid. So, Alimony Sanchez is a blues artist. Yeah, a Mexican blues artist.
Yeah, you can hear one of his songs in the video.
Yeah, it's actually an original song that we wrote.
Yeah.
It was, well, I mean, it was improvised.
It took 15 minutes to write that song.
But it's a good song, though.
Yeah,
it's like surprisingly a good song. And the first original song we've ever posted on AustinZach00.
I think it's the first original song we've ever made.
Well, yeah, that too. But I mean, like, just in general, we've had covers of songs on the channel before. I think most...
we have?
Avogadro.
Oh yeah, we did. Oh,
we've covered, or I guess that was more of a parody. Yeah. Like, but then I did a cover of Wicked Little Town on the channel, and then I had the one bugging beep 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 beep. My musical is on our channel, so we have performed songs on it, but this is, and that video is the first time that we've actually like recorded, written, recorded, and posted, and used an original song. So I was pretty proud of that, actually.
You were proud of that? Like,
yeah.
It was like, the song was...
it's so bad.
Like, it was an awful song,
yeah.
but
But it's like, just in general, like, this is neat that we did this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, Alimony Sanchez is a blues artist. I don't know, I guess we should... He's from Guadalajara.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know where that is.
I think it's a state in Mexico. Might be a city.
Guadalajara.
Yeah, Guadalajara. That's a place.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see. Load Siri. Where is Guadalajara?
Okay, here's Guadalajara, Mexico.
It's a city in Mexico.
It's a city in Mexico. So he's from Guadalajara, Mexico. And he... I think he just kind of hates him. Like, he came to the country because, why everybody comes to America, like the American dream.
Yeah, he wanted to become rich and prosper.
Exactly. And he is, I think, the type of person who he expected it to be handed to him. He expected these like fortunes to be handed to him.
Yeah, but he knew he had talent.
Right.
With his guitar playing, he played in a mariachi band back in Guadalajara.
Right.
But he had one record. like one blues record that just he really clung to. You know what I'm saying? And that's what made him go to the U.S.
Oh,
and
I
so
see
he
what
thought,
you're saying.
he's like, I want to be a blues artist.
Like
and,
B.B. King, yeah.
And he thought like he would go like play a few shows and people would be like, yeah, this guy's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
He thought it would just be easy.
Yeah, he didn't realize like how much work people like B.B. King and like Louis Armstrong and people like that. I guess Louis Armstrong isn't blues, but people like B.B. King actually put in a lot of work to get to where they were, as as popular and famous as he was. And I think Alimony thought he would just come, like you said, play a few shows, and people would be like, holy shit. And then he would just, win 13 Grammys and be a multi-platinum selling artist, and it just wasn't the case.
Yeah.
That's just not how it happened. And I think that's when he discovered the actual monetary system of alimony.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, his name wasn't Alimony.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a nickname.
Yeah, we don't know what it. I don't think we want to know what his original name was.
Nobody knows. He left that a mystery.
Exactly. We don't even know, and we created him.
Yeah, we could easily make something up, but we're not. Going to.
So Alimony discovered that if he married women and then divorced them, he could sue them for alimony, which is like spousal support that you pay your divorced.
Yeah, because this whole time, like, he's not working, and the woman's working, because he's just trying to like get shows so he can.
Right. He has never like taken any part-time job at all.
Yeah.
And he's marrying these random women that are like seeing his shows, and like they're like, oh yeah, you were good, and he's like, you want to get married?
And of course.
And they're like, absolutely, yeah. And they don't realize that he doesn't love them. He's literally only interested in divorcing them for the alimony. And I think that's when he started writing his first American album, They Call Me Alimony.
Yeah, in the process of divorcing women.
Yeah. By the time he divorced 7 women, he was making like easily like $4,000 or $5,000 a month off of them, easily. I would say, which sucks for these women because they probably weren't very rich, and they're pretty much paying out their entire paycheck to Alimony Sanchez, and
that's the price of
marrying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He did not want them to sign a prenup.
Yeah, oh, for sure not.
He mentions that in the song.
Yeah,
no prenup.
Yeah, it was during that time that he started writing his first album, They Call Me Alimony. And he was, over the time, he was performing some of these songs at these random venues that he was getting. And somewhere along the line, he saved up enough money to rent out the studio. Like, it was a shitty, probably like Weird Al. You remember, like Weird Al's first album? I don't know why I know this, but he recorded, I think it was like an E! True Hollywood Story on Weird Al. He recorded his first album in his bathtub and like shower.
Really?
Yeah, because of like the acoustics.
That's weird.
Yeah. So it'd be like if we did that and we just took this mic and went into the bathroom and recorded an album.
That's really weird.
Yeah. So I feel like it was something like that he did. He went to like some hole in the wall like shitty studio.
Yeah.
And recorded his first album, They Call Me Alimony. And I have a track listing.
Yeah. We do.
Number 1, Alimony Sanchez, which is
title track.
Yeah, the title track and featured in the video Alimony Sanchez. Number 2, Tax Evasion, because Alimony does not want to pay taxes on his alimony, so his entire alimony like paychecks are all under the table. I don't know how he successwe'll sued for alimony and then got it paid in cash.
Maybe he's working with the mafia.
Yeah, that could be. We'll never know.
This isn't like a legal alimony.
Yeah.
This is
like blackmail. He's like blackmailing
these
them.
women for spousal support.
Yeah. And number 3 it was Tortilla Shell of Despair, because it's a blues album, so he was sad as fuck.
Yeah, he was sad as fuck, but like also he liked tacos.
Yeah, who doesn't? Number 4 was the Al Capone story. And that's another...
I was wondering about why the Al Capone...
Because Al Capone... Well, you know who Al Capone was.
Yeah.
Notorious mobster. And the reason that they could never connect him to any of the crimes that he was committing, even though they knew it was him. And the only thing that they connected him to was tax evasion. And that's what they finally got him for. and like he went to jail for the rest of his life for tax evasion
Wow.
and died in prison.
Yeah, I knew that, but like,
Right.
I see how that connects to Alimony.
So Alimony wrote this, and he's like scared. He's like sad. He's like, I'm gonna be the next Al Capone, which is kind of conceited to think of yourself as the next Al Capone, I guess. But
yeah, because he thought he was like, I didn't know he thought he was a criminal.
I think he knew.
Oh, he knew?
Yeah, I think he knew he was like doing illegal shit.
He wrote an album about it.
Yeah,
like, that's how much he didn't give a shit.
Right.
Like, what a badass.
Number 5 was simply titled Life.
I feel like that's one that would like make you think.
Yeah.
But also like a 10-minute improvised blues song.
Scatting. I think there was probably a lot of scatting.
There might have been like scabbity bop 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 a life.
Right.
That might have happened.
Number 6 was Illegal Alien. Because I feel like, especially now, like today. Of course, this was in the 70s, but today I feel like we really have a stigma against illegal immigration for some reason. Like, I don't even fucking care. Like, I feel like we should just have an open border. But that's beside the point.
Yeah.
People, even especially like in the 70s and today, people were like, you fucking elite, let me see your green card, bitch. So I feel like he knew that was a thing, and he was sad about it, because he just wanted to come here for the American dream, and even though he was doing nothing to do it legally, people were looking down on him as an illegal alien.
So that song's about him.
Yeah.
Just being an illegal alien. Just, he's still a person.
Exactly. But to everybody else, he's just an illegal alien.
That doesn't work.
I know. And then the final track, it was only 7 tracks, was Home Isn't Home Anymore. Because he was sad that Guadalajara, Mexico was not his home anymore.
Yeah, it isn't.
Because he lives in America now, and he's making a home and a name for himself in America. And Guadalajara just isn't home anymore.
Yeah. He misses Guadalajara.
And so he records this album and, is going, he's doing his own, publishing of it, his own releasing and promotion of it, when he finally, like, gets a hold of, like, a record producer.
Mm-hmm.
And someone listens to it and they're like, oh, this isn't half bad.
Yeah.
So then they re-record it.
I don't know who thought it wasn't half bad, because
it was
objectively awful.
Yeah, well, obviously, like, the song that we recorded is horrible, yes.
Yeah, but we'll just pretend.
But in the world of this story,
great album,
great blues album.
Yeah,
because sometimes it's not about the actual performance, like whether he can sing or not. Especially, I feel like in blues, it's more of the emotion and like the lyrics.
Yeah, like what he's feeling.
Right.
You could feel
his hurt.
From Guadalajara, Alimony, being an illegal alien, life was tough for him.
So, this big record company produces it, and it's an overnight sensation. Like, millions of copies sold. It's actually one of the greatest albums, sold. Like, one of the highest selling albums of all time.
Like Here Comes the Sun.
Well, that's not.
Is that an album?
No. And it's also...
I don't know.
The number one selling album is Thriller by Michael Jackson of all time. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, of all time, that is the best selling album.
Why?
Number 2 is Back in Black by AC/DC.
No.
Yeah.
Ew.
It is.
That's
and then
weird.
The Dark Side of the Moon.
Really?
Yeah, by Pink Floyd is number 3. And then number 4, surprisingly, They Call Me Alimony by Alimony Sanchez.
Oh, that's number 4.
Yeah. And surprisingly, especially to Alimony. Well, I don't think it's. I was gonna say surprisingly to Alimony, but I don't think it was a surprise to Alimony, because once this record started selling so well and critics were praising it, and he was rolling in the royalties and the ticket sales and all that stuff, he was nominated for a Grammy for Best Blues Album in 1975, and he actually won the Grammy.
One of the best moments of his life.
Yeah, for sure. He won the Grammy, the 1975 Grammy for the Best Blues Album. And, gave like a 30-second speech, typical stuff. But a lot of people were curious to see, like, this is great. Like, he's so successful, like, I'm going to go see him on tour, but I can't wait for his next album. Like, what's he going to do next? But after that, he went on tour, and apparently visited 60 countries around the
60?
world. Yeah, 60. And there's
Wow.
and you got to think at this time there were probably only like 200, if you think about it, because there were like 260 now in
I
2015.
think there's 60 new countries within 40 years.
Maybe. I don't know how countries work.
I don't think so.
I don't know how it works. And he played 300 shows in 150 cities. So he did 2 shows in each city,
Wow.
which is crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
super
actually
successful.
Probably not a thing.
Yeah, super successful. But people, people are like, yeah, this is a great tour, like one of the most successful tours of all time too. Especially which is so random for a blues artist. I feel like blues artists don't tour, like do because I'm talking like not just a
Talking
local
like
like
stadiums.
dive bar, like I'm talking about like stadiums full of people coming to see Alimony Sanchez,
Blues made a resurgence
Yeah.
in the 70s.
which is like not what happened at all. Like,
Yeah, because like rock and roll took over.
yeah, exactly. But people wanted something different, and they were listening to Alimony Sanchez, because like Donald Trump, he says exactly what he means.
Yeah, he like straight up like tax evasion.
right.
He wrote a song called Tax Evasion.
Like as if that, like you would think immediately that would like raise some red flags, like because
It
you
didn't.
know people heard that song, like
But government officials
exactly
liked the song.
exactly.
They were there watching his show.
Like it's Jimmy Carter's favorite album, and he was president at the time. Like
And
he could have done something.
He just didn't care.
He's just like, hey, what the fuck? Like, it's like, was he president in 1975? Let's find out.
1975.
Who was the president in 1975?
Let me think.
Ford?
The answer is Gerald Ford.
Oh, okay. Fuck you, Gerald Ford. So Gerald Ford. Okay, but then Jimmy
Carter.
Carter followed him up. But they didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, they didn't give a shit.
Yeah. So
It's kind of like Obama. Like Obama could like crack down on Colorado for smoking weed,
But
he
they just
doesn't.
didn't, yeah.
He doesn't care
exactly.
because he's a stoner.
Oh, for sure. Where's his birth certificate?
Yeah.
First of all, have we seen the real
I
birth
feel like we've
certificate?
mentioned Barack Obama's birth certificate in every.
Well, I'm serious. Where is the birth certificate?
I've never
Have
seen
we
it.
seen it? I know he is an illegal Muslim, foreign-born president, and I know that he is going to. He's bringing Sharia
He
law
is
to
the-
Connecticut.
He is the Antichrist.
Oh, without a doubt. Also, Joe Biden is a horrible piece of shit too.
Have
if
you seen
think
those
about
people
it.
who like ship Barack Obama and Joe Biden?
That's hot.
There's like a there's like a side of Tumblr that thinks they're dating, like thinks they fuck.
That would be adorable. I'd
Yeah,
be into
because like
that.
there's so many pictures where like, they're like hugging each other and like they're about to kiss.
Because they do love each other.
yeah, they love each other. They want to suck each other off.
Like what a great ticket that was.
Yeah.
Obama Biden. Like what a great ticket in general. How did we get so off topic?
yeah, we're not okay. Alimony.
Anyway, so in 1977, Alimony released his follow-up. He was on tour for 2 years. Well, really just a year. And then he spent a year writing his album. The album was called Thanks for the Grammy.
He was so excited about that Grammy.
Right.
He speaks his mind.
And he was thankful. He wanted this to be the follow-up. And he wanted to show the Grammy voters that he was thankful and, like, give me more Grammys, essentially. So the title track, number 1, Thanks for the Grammy, of course. Number 2 is Lower Lumbar Pain. Because I think that would make you sad. You got to think, he was on tour for a year. Like, of course he's going to have lower lumbar pain.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
of
see
course.
a chiropractor.
Number 3 is called Rest in Peace Mi Madre, because while he was on tour, his mother died.
Oh, that's kind of
Yeah.
sad.
But it was really sad because she was in Guadalajara and had no idea, like, the success that her son had become. And I think even if she
Aw.
did, even if
It's,
she
like,
had
actually sad.
if she even had experienced it, I don't think she would have understood it. Because I don't think she wanted him to be.
Or saying she was like old and confused. Or
Yeah,
like,
no, I just think
she's-
she was just more like, she wanted something more traditional, even though he's like a multi-platinum millionaire now with a Grammy
Yeah.
and throngs of adoring fans. People love Alimony Sanchez, and so he wrote a song, just a very sad song about his dead mom.
That's sad.
And then immediately followed it up with track 4, Aborted Fetus Nightmare.
Jesus.
Because, Alimony was constantly marrying, divorcing, but he was also cheating on these wives because he didn't love them with groupies. And they would come back and, they would tell him, like, I'm on birth control. And then they would get pregnant. And he to think that they would then marry him, or that he would take care, like, to blackmail him almost. And so
Either they know he's only out there for alimony.
right, they heard the song, and then, but instead he would just stab him in the stomach and kill the baby if they didn't want to get an abortion.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, he would give them back alley abortions. Like, I heard once he, like, roofied a girl, like Bill Cosby, right?
Straight up Bill Cosby.
Like, in the same in the same time period as Bill Cosby's raping women on the set of the Cosby Show, Alimony Sanchez is drugging pregnant baby mamas, pregnant groupies, and then giving them coat hanger abortions, and then they and then like he, and then they wake up and there's just a fucking fetus on, like a fucking like sack of cells on their chest or something. I know, he's fucked up, but he wrote a song about it because apparently he was very haunted by the doing this.
I can
like,
tell.
wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would do it.
I don't know why you'd say that.
I'm just kidding. Number 5 is The Bitch Won't Leave.
That sounds like a blues song.
It really does. Well, it is.
I know, but it sounds like something like somebody else already wrote.
I know.
The bitch rolling.
I think that was referring to his 9th wife, which was she would not accept the divorce. Like, she would not sign the papers.
Bitch rolling.
She was like, you married me, like, I left my husband, or whatever it was. Whatever sacrifices she had made for alimony in this relationship, she wouldn't accept the divorce. She would not leave. And why would she? Because she's got millions of dollars, like, at her disposal with her husband. I wouldn't leave either,
Yeah, why would you want to?
Number 6 is a sad song about wife number 8. It's called Wife Number 8. Because the bitch won't leave, number 9. Wife 9 won't leave, so he's reminiscing and sad about wife number 8.
Yeah, because she left.
Because she left as soon as he asked. Number 7, spousal support. Because wife number 9, when she left, wanted spousal support, of course, and he didn't sign a prenup. He didn't have him sign a prenup. He never signed a prenup.
No, of course, no.
And so she ended up making some pretty good money, because she sued him, and now he has a national profile, so people know this. So he had to support her. He had to pay her. He settled it out of court, but
he's pissed.
The rumors are that it's like $1.3 million that he settled this case for. So she got $1.3 million. So I'd be pretty fucking sad too.
Yeah, fucking spousal support.
Number 8 is Burrito of Sorrow.
That reminds me. Is it like the sister, like cousin of Tortilla Shell of Despair?
Yeah. It's actually if you listen to them end to end, they tell a complete story.
Oh,
I don't know about what, because I've never heard them, but
That's
Tortilla Shell of Despair from They Call Me Alimony is directly followed. Like, if you play them back to back, it just tells a complete story.
That's neat.
Yeah, I think it is cool. I think that was pretty cool. Number 9 was Tear Down the Border in My Heart. Because I think he was starting to get sad. Like, he was like,
Of course he was. He's playing the blues every day.
Yeah, but I think now he was more sad about, like, his love life. And he doesn't have a family, really. His mom's dead. Like, he's got 9 ex-wives now. Like, I think he was kind of like, oh, like, who do I come home to at night? Like,
nobody.
Tear down the border in my heart, because
he's like rich, but like nobody.
And that makes it even worse too, because then are they with you because they like you, or are they with you because you have millions of dollars and you're Alimony Sanchez?
Yeah.
Who knows? And then number 10 was Alimony Sanchez.
The same song from the first album.
Yeah, exactly. The same song from the first album. He knew it was a hit, so might as well throw it on the new album, because some people might not have heard it. Except it was probably the number 1 played song on the radio.
Number 1 song for 82 consecutive weeks.
So, critics and fans like adored this album. Like, some people think it's even better than the first one.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're crazy.
First one, my favorite.
For sure. It's like Jagged Little Pill, and then the follow-up to Jagged Little Pill, terrible.
Don't even know the name of it.
But you don't want to. Don't even want to know the name of it.
Yeah,
but
forget.
I would think that Thanks for the Grammy is a pretty good album, though, too, if you think about it. Just the stories behind it are pretty good.
Yeah, that's neat.
So, Thanks for the Grammy sold considerably well, and it actually went double platinum, which I don't know how many that is, but that's a thing that people
2
say.
million?
Yeah. But
Platinum means million.
it also earned... You say platinum means million?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. It also earned 3 Grammy nominations.
Did it win?
And this is the first. We'll find out, won't we?
Oh.
It was nominated for Best Blues Song for "Tear Down the Walls in My Heart" or "The Border in My Heart," and then it was nominated for Best Blues Album, but it was also nominated in the Best New Album category, like with other genres.
Oh.
So that was the first time in the history of the Grammys that they actually took a Best Blues Album and put it in the Best New Album category too.
Oh.
Now it actually did lose the Best New Album, literally to Carole King for Tapestry, which I have a vinyl of and I'm looking at.
Is that what we're looking at?
Well, that's not what we're looking at, but that's Stevie Nicks.
You're thinking about looking at it.
Yeah, it's like three back in there. But I do believe Carole King actually won that year for Tapestry, but he actually lost Best Blues Album and Best Blues Song to an up-and-comer.
Oh.
To a new guy. And this, yeah, he that is his rival. And it's funny because critics and, like, everybody just thought Alimony was going to win all three. And he didn't win any. Because of this new guy, Domestic Abuse Romano.
Domestic.
Alimony was pissed. As you would be, I think.
Yeah,
to have such a successful album and be nominated for a Grammy, 3 Grammys, make it like a history-making, like, double nomination.
Losing to Carole King and Domestic Abuse Romano.
Right. Like, I feel like he would have been okay if he lost to Carole King for Best New Album, but losing Best Blues Album, like, when he...
Yeah, like, he's the king of blues.
He is the king of blues at this point. Like, he inspired, B.B. King, He didn't.
Except he came after.
I know. So immediately, within a month, he released his next album. Went home after the Grammys that night and wrote his next album, which is 3 songs. And the album is titled Fuck the Grammys and Fuck You Too. The first track is Fuck the Grammys, which I think is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
The second is Fuck You Too. And the third song is Alimony Sanchez.
Because he has to just throw that on every album.
Right, because he knows that's his masterpiece.
Yeah. Are these songs like 20 minutes? Or are they just like is it a really short album?
I think it has to meet a certain length requirement, like for the Grammys.
Oh, it's like an LP.
Yeah, so I think it is an LP. So they must be, I would say it's probably Fuck the Grammys and Fuck You Too on side A, and then side B is Alimony Sanchez.
Just Alimony Sanchez.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably like a 12-inch. It's probably like a 7-inch if you think about it.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But critics really loved this album. Surprisingly, like you would think that they would be like, no, like fuck me, like fuck you, Alimony. But like the album, like a lot of people think that it's even better than the first two because you could feel like in his lyrics like how pissed he was and like how hurt he was. Like he was fucking pissed.
And he hates
and
Domestic Abuse Romano.
Oh, for sure. And surprisingly to everyone, including Alimony, Fuck the Grammys and Fuck You Too earned 2 Grammy nominations in 1978. Which is surprising because it literally calls out the Grammys to say fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally saying, like, I don't give 2 shits about the Grammys. Like, I still wrote a great album. Fuck you, Grammys. It was nominated for Best New Album. Not Best Blues. Best New Album. Great honor.
Again.
And Best Blues Song for Fuck the Grammys. Critics were sure Alimony would win Best Album. But that did not happen. He lost both nominations again.
To Domestic Abuse Romano.
Yes. Domestic Abuse Romano won a record-shattering 10 Grammys that night.
Jeez.
With his latest release, Polizie Violencia.
What does that mean?
Police violence. And we found out later, like in history, that the Grammy nominator, like the people who make the Grammy nominations, gave those nominations to Alimony, like, as a joke.
Oh.
Like, fuck you, Grammys? Like, how about fuck you, Alimony? And because they knew, like...
He loved Grammys.
Right, like...
And
how much he respected them.
Yeah.
So they did it as, like, a big old fuck you, and it worked. Because Alimony slipped into a deep depression. Like, which you would think is, good material for your next album.
Yeah, right.
But at the same time, he separated from his 12th wife. Which is good, you know, he's used to that.
Yeah, he's getting alimony left and right.
Right, but it was at that time that the U.S. government started looking into his alimony abuse. Because he was literally abusing these women for alimony.
Yeah.
And they took him to court, and they capped his monthly earnings from alimony at $25 per wife, up to $300 a month, to stop him from... Because that's 12. That's 12 wives paying $25. So that essentially stopped him from doing it anymore. Like, he could not marry another wife and get alimony from her.
Yeah.
So it was done. So he was fucking depressed now, because there goes his next set of income. I mean, yes, he has had 3 phenomenally successful albums in terms of sales and stuff like that. But he, you know, he was so upset that he began, like, drinking himself into oblivion, and, you know, he pretty much took the 4.3, his estimated earnings in 1978 were $4.3 million, and he pretty much drank it and shot it up his arm, or snorted it up his nose. $4.3 million.
Jesus, alimony.
Yeah. And he, you know, he's dropping off the face of the planet. Like, people don't even remember him anymore at this point. Like, I mean, they do, but they're more like, oh yeah, he's probably just working on his next album. But they had no idea, because at the same time as this was happening, Domestic Abuse Romano dominated the blues and the Grammy scene, winning actually 87 Grammys between 1977 and 1988. So for 11 years, he was sweeping every Grammys category.
Yeah, he got 8 Grammys every year.
8 Grammys a year, at least. Some might have been, you know, some years might have been less, some years might have been more, but at least 8 Grammys a year.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's like unheard
Might
of.
not even be possible.
Yeah. I can't... Well, you gotta think... For Michael Jackson, he won 7 Grammys in one night. So it is possible.
Wow.
Yeah.
For Thriller?
For Thriller, yeah. Yeah.
It's weird.
Now, while we lost track of alimony, like, because he just dropped off the face of the planet. Like, he was poor, you know, he was a drunk, he was a drug addict. But it was actually probably a good thing for alimony, because he met Aretha DeMarco. And for the first time, he actually fell in love with her. Like, he fell in love with the person.
Alimony.
Yeah. Well, it couldn't be about alimony.
Yeah, because he could only get $25, and it capped off at $300.
Right.
So he didn't even matter.
He was actually in love with her. And they were married in 1981. And they moved to the suburbs of LA and talked about raising a family, which alimony never even pretended to want a family.
Yeah.
And it was a few solid years of blissful happiness. Like, they were, you know, living the American dream, essentially. You know, it was just the two of them and their dog, you know, fucking living in the suburbs, like, having a great time, making friends, going to bed at, like, 10, you know. They were having a great life.
Living normal.
Until 1985.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oprah Winfrey.
Yes. Oprah Winfrey, at the 1985, I believe, was her first year. And, you know, no one really knew, like, obviously what she was, you know, like, Oprah's, like, is the richest woman in the world right now. Well,
she is, really?
in show business, I think. There are probably more, like, richer CEOs or something, but yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And so no one knew, because at that time it was just, like, a talk show out of Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, no one really knew what it was going to be. But Oprah wanted to do a show on famous 70s Grammy winners and see how they were, you know, adapting to the 80s and what they were going to bring to the 80s and the 90s, like, moving forward.
Yeah.
Like, what they were doing. And one of the Grammy artists that she wanted to have on the show was Alimony. He immediately said no, because he was done with that life. Like, that was behind him.
Yeah,
you
he
know,
didn't care.
He won a Grammy, but now he was happy with his life. So he said, like, I'll do a video interview, or, you know, like, I'll do a phone interview or something just to say, like, I'm happy, like, I'm living a great life. Like, I don't need to sing the blues anymore. Like, I have a great life, a great wife, and we're gonna start a family. But Aretha knew that Alimony could use this opportunity to show her off, because she was an up and coming gangster rapper. She was creating gangster rap. And she wanted him to show off, like, how great their life was and, like, introduce the world to her. Like, you know, I'm a Grammy winner. Here's my future Grammy-winning wife.
Yeah.
So, you know, with a little convincing, Alimony actually agreed and went on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And she sat in between domestic abuse Romano, who's now, like, you know, has, like, a fucking room of Grammys.
Yeah.
And an up-and-coming country singer, Alan Strait.
Random.
Yeah. Now, as Oprah was going down the line and asking everybody, like, what they were going to bring to the 80s and 90s, everybody was just kind of saying the same thing, like, the exact genre that they were known for. You know, domestic abuse Romano, why would he leave the blues scene when he's dominating the blues scene? Like, so he's like, I'm going to release more blues albums. Alan Strait's releasing more country albums, you know. Def Leppard's more rock albums, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's just releasing the exact same thing that they've been doing. And, you know, that's when Alimony, like, had an epiphany of sorts. He kind of said, like, holy shit, like, you know, everybody's doing the same thing. Like, I could jump genres to like an unclaimed territory and make a new name for myself in a new category, win more Grammys, and maybe, like, be back on top again. So, when she got to Alimony, he said that in the 80s or 90s, he was going to release a heavy metal album.
Shocked everybody.
Right. He was immediately, like, the talk of the town again. Like, everybody wanted to know when this album was going to come out. What's the next thing from Alimony Sanchez? Like, a blues artist jumping to heavy metal?
Blues artist married to a gangster rapper jumping to heavy metal.
Right. Unheard of, obviously. So he returns to LA and he starts, you know, writing and recording his heavy metal debut. Aretha was, you know, originally supportive. She, you know, because why wouldn't she be? Like, your husband's getting back into writing. But when he released the album, it was called I Hate My Life in 1988. He was like, you know, Aretha, like, this is just because this is what he thought heavy metal albums were like.
Yeah.
You know, more emo than heavy metal is what he thought it was. And, you know, she was like, okay, like, but the track listing says otherwise.
Yeah.
She knew.
Let's hear the track listing.
It's 5 songs. Number 1 is I Hate My Life, which, okay, you know, whatever. Number 2 is My Wife is a Cunt. Okay, like, immediately, if I were Aretha, I'd be like, okay, like, you could,
fuck?
like, okay, like, maybe you're just trying to fit into heavy metal, but that's still kind of rude.
Yeah.
Number 3 is I Cut Myself with Bic Razors. Because they sponsored him. Yeah, it was a sponsorship from Bic Razors, yeah. But then number 4 is Aretha is an ugly name. So he literally
just called her out.
Yeah, like, he called her a cunt, but then, you know, okay, that could have been just to fit in with heavy metal,
Yeah,
but then Aretha is an ugly name. That's obviously about his wife.
Yeah.
Like, there's no explanation for that.
Yeah.
No one else is named Aretha. And then number 5 is Alimony Sanchez. The metal cover.
My favorite part.
You know, he released the album, and not only did his wife hate it, the entire country, the entire world hated it.
Yeah.
I mean,
awful.
Absolutely, like, harsh criticism and horrible sales. A lot of lists still today rank it as the worst album of the 20th century. Like, you know, Time releases, like, every few years, like, the 500, like, greatest albums of all time. They also occasionally do the worst albums of all time. And you know, 9 times out of 10, it's I Hate My Life by Alimony Sanchez.
Yeah.
He was a laughingstock. You know, I feel like they knew it was not genuine, which was something he was known for. They knew this was not Alimony Sanchez.
This wasn't what he just wanted to.
He literally
remain
just
popular.
Yeah, he made
regain his fame.
Right, he made the switch to get to be famous again and to make Grammys or to get Grammys, and it, you know, horrible. Was not even nominated, like, not even close to nominated. Like, at the same time, Aretha announces she's pregnant to the world, but also to her husband.
Yeah.
And, this is something they've been planning for a long time, so he should be happy. And he is, he's pretty happy at first. I mean, he's obviously depressed because his latest album is absolutely terrible, and it kind of ruins his entire legacy.
Of course.
Because this is what everybody is going to remember now. Like, not that he won a Grammy, not that he was a super successful blues artist, but that he released the worst album of the 20th century.
Yeah.
So, at about 3 months, they go in for an ultrasound and realize that the baby has mental retardation. And Aretha's like, I'll love him more if he's retarded. Like Alexis Stefani said that.
Yeah, she told us that.
Yeah, she's like, I would love a baby more if it was retarded. Like, so like, she's secretly wishing that she was going to have a mentally challenged baby. Alimony did not agree. Alimony immediately wanted her to have an abortion. And we know his history with abortion, so he could have just done it himself.
He's a big fan of abortions.
But he respected her enough to not force her to get an abortion. But in his mind, it was not... He didn't want to I don't think it was like I don't want to bring a baby into this world with mental problems. It was literally a selfish, like, I don't want to take care of a baby with mental problems.
Yeah.
So, as soon as he brings up the idea of abortion, Aretha's pissed and leaves. She's the one who files for divorce.
Oh.
She's the one who gets alimony from Alimony. Alimony has to start paying alimony to Aretha. And a hefty sum because she has a baby with special needs.
Yeah, he's not even making money because he's just getting $300 a month from his previous 12 wives.
Yeah.
No money from this new record. He probably lost money from that.
Oh, for sure. Huge commercial failure. So, he had to sell his house in the suburbs. He's, like, living in a shitty house in, like, downtown LA or, not even near LA. Like,
yeah,
he's has a... I almost feel bad for him, but at the same time, like, he made these decisions to get to where he was.
True.
At the same time, Aretha becomes the top-selling rapper. Her album, she writes a gangster rap album about alimony and, like, her life with alimony. And just, I mean, people, it was kind of like Jagged Little Pill, how, like, you could, people connected with her anger and her lyrics.
Yeah.
And, she just went more successful than alimony even. And all that success went straight to her head, and she didn't have time to care for her child anymore. So she has her, assistant dump the mentally challenged baby, which they never named, on his doorstep.
They never named the baby?
Yeah, they just didn't care, because they're both horrible people.
Oh, okay.
And he could have just, like, not brought it into the house. But I feel like he kind of had, like, some paternal instinct and took care of it, kind of. I mean, he was still spending all of his money on alcohol and drugs and paying alimony to his wife, or his ex-wife. But, what little money he had left, he was, using, neglecting his son. His son, he chains him in the basement.
Yeah.
And, just throws food down to him. And, doesn't, like, take the time to, like, take care of him or anything, which he wanted an abortion in the first place, but at the same time, like, his paternal instinct should have, he should have taken care of the kid. And in 2014, the Grammy Association rescinds Alimony Sanchez's 1975 Grammy. They took it back.
What?
Yeah.
Does that happen?
Yeah, well, I think it was probably the first.
Oh.
He obviously got to keep the statue because they weren't going to come and be like, give it back.
But like, it means nothing.
Yeah, it means nothing. They actually re-awarded the 1975 Grammy for Best Blues Album to B.B. King posthumously because he's dead. Right? Is B.B. King dead?
I think he died.
Yeah. I think, so that he died, so B.B. King died, and they were like, okay, Alimony Sanchez is a horrible person. No one knows about his mentally challenged, chained up son in the basement. But they just know he's a horrible person. They, he's always on the news as a drunk, They know he's, like, just snorting coke. Yeah, exactly. So, they took away his Grammy. So in the history books, Alimony Sanchez did not win a Grammy. B.B. King did. Which is sad to think.
That is really sad. That's why nobody's heard of Alimony Sanchez.
Exactly. And that's where our video finds Alimony Sanchez. He has a handicapped son chained in the basement that he hates, that he can't even look at because it reminds him of Aretha.
All he hears is, like, his voice.
He just hears screaming all day throughout the house.
Yeah.
You know, it wakes him up in the morning. You know, it
tries to drink his problems away.
Yeah. You know, and he lives in this you know, fantasy that he's still in the 70s, that he's still prevalent. You know, he only listens to They Call Me Alimony, his first album, the one that won the Grammy.
Yeah.
You know, he only listens to that. He doesn't watch TV. He just wakes up. He's hungover or still drunk usually because he doesn't stop drinking, and he listens to the album, throws food down to his son, you know, tries to take a nap, tries to clean, you know, whatever, and is constantly woken up by screaming. He does not get a moment of rest. So, you know, I don't blame him. By the end of the video, he throws the pizza box down to his son, and he's questioning life. You know, he's like, how the fuck did I end up here in this house with this monster in the basement? You know,
monster is basically what it was.
Yeah, without my ex-wife, without my alimony, without my Grammy, without my music career, without my fame. You know, what the fuck is, like, how did I get here? So I can understand why he chose to kill himself at the end of the video.
Yeah.
I can understand it.
Yeah, his life sucked.
His life was miserable. And
where did domestic abuse Romano end up? Like, still successful?
Something we'll have to find out.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
We'll have to do more research on domestic abuse Romano.
Research.
We actually have. Do we just say it about Aretha?
Yeah, we have stuff planned for Aretha.
Yeah, we have a follow-up for Aretha DeMarco to see maybe
we're gonna do some stuff on her life, see where she is now.
Yeah, see what Aretha is up to, and maybe if we find the right person, we might do some domestic abuse Romano. Who knows? Who knows where this life is going to take us?
Nobody knows.
But that was a great conversation. That
was good.
That was really good, I think. Nicholas, if you're still watching, text me and say, this whole time I haven't been listening because I'm a horrible, horrible, horrible person.
Okay, that got serious.
But I think that does it for this episode. My birthday's tomorrow. Midlife crisis, record players, and enjoy the episode, and we'll be back next week with more MOATAIF takeover. Already needs to take over. Thank you, Zach. I want you to know that I actually listened to Alimony Sanchez in the 70s, and very much liked his album. Actually, my favorite album is the one called I Hate My Life. It's heavy metal. I loved it. What you want, RJ? I very much loved it.
Artie's the one person that likes.
It was a good album. I love this song. I cut myself with Bic razor. When I shave, I accidentally cut myself with Bic razor every day. You would think I would switch to Gillette, but I stay with Bic. They very cheap. You guys do not pay me enough to have a good amount of money, so I cannot afford Gillette. I have to shave with Bic. I actually have to shave with Lady Bic, but we don't talk about that. Tune in. Thank you for listening to MOATAIF. Tune in next week for more podcast. Thank you. My name is Artie.
Death to every fucking Republican.